Hey Realtors, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through an automation that I built that gives you the ability to run a completely 100% automated real estate newsletter in your business. Yes, you heard that correctly. It means you can send a weekly or a monthly newsletter to your entire database with market updates, property highlights, local restaurant recommendations, homeowner tips, and pretty much any kind of information that you would want to send out in a newsletter. AI does absolutely everything for you, from writing the content, gathering the pictures, designing the entire newsletter and putting it into one beautiful package, and then sending it out for you to your entire database. You literally do not have to lift a finger. Once the system is set up, it runs on autopilot for you every single week or month or however often you set it for. To do this, we're using a few different tools, with Make.com being the main one. It's the automation platform that's going to kind of connect all these tools together. But there's a few other tools as well, which we'll get into when we hop into my computer. But I wanted to share this because it is such a valuable automation, because it allows you to add an extra piece of marketing to your entire toolbox without having to do any extra work. Once the system is set up, it runs on autopilot and you get beautifully branded newsletters that go out to your entire audience that have your logo, your colors, your fonts, everything that is perfectly tailored to your brand. Now, real quick, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Upright. I'm a real estate agent in Canada, and I'm also an AI consultant that helps real estate agents implement AI into their businesses. I teach my clients how to use these AI tools and build these custom AI systems to automate different processes in their business, and not only help them be more productive and more efficient, but also close more deals and honestly just run a better, more enjoyable business. So if that is something that you want to learn how to do as well, then click that subscribe button, because that's the type of videos that I put out. My goal is to help as many real estate agents as I possibly can learn how to automate their business with AI. So subscribing to my channel and liking this video will help the YouTube algorithm push this video out to more real estate agents. So now, without further ado, let's hop into my computer. I'm going to show you one of the examples of the newsletters that we created that is perfectly tailored to this real estate agent's brand. And I'm going to show you the automation inside of Make.com, how it all works, what tools we're using, and how we set up the entire thing so that you can run a real estate newsletter inside of your business completely on autopilot. So let's get into it. So in order to set up an automated newsletter like this, there's a few different tools that we need to use and connect together in order to make it all happen. So I'm going to show you here. Let me just zoom out a bit and move my face up here so you can read everything. So the first thing that we're going to be using obviously is Make.com. Make.com is the automation platform that I prefer to use. You can use Zapier as well, but for what I'm going to be showing here, it's in Make.com. This is basically where we're just going to connect all these different tools so that the whole automation runs and actually creates the newsletter. Next, we're going to be using Sender.net. This is basically just if you want to be able to track the newsletter opens and how many people are actually reading the newsletter. If you just want to send it from your regular email, maybe you don't have a ton of contacts or something, you can just use Gmail or Outlook or whatever you're using. There are more popular email marketing platforms that you can use as well, like MailChimp, but those are just quite expensive. So if you're trying to keep your costs low and just basically have the functionality of being able to send these newsletters through the Make.com scenario, as well as track your open rates and things like that, Sender.net might be a good option for you, so you can check them out. But basically, you can just use any type of email tracking software here. The next one that we're going to be using is Canva. So Canva is what we use to build the actual template of the newsletter. And then from there, we connect that to Make.com to fill in specific variables that the AI is going to create for us, which I'll show you in a second here. But yeah, Canva is where we're actually designing the newsletter itself. And then we're going to be using a custom RSS feed that we set up for getting things like local news and events so that we can add those things into our newsletter. And then lastly, OpenAI, of course. We're going to be using the OpenAI API so that we can connect it inside of Make.com. But this is what's actually going to write all of the market summaries and titles and things like that. So we use OpenAI for AI functionality and writing, RSS for getting local news and events, Canva for the actual design of the newsletter, Sender.net for actually sending the emails and tracking open rates, and then Make.com to sort of tie it all together. Now, just as a quick reminder, I'm going to show you again what that newsletter looks like. So this is one that I built actually for my sister-in-law. She's a realtor as well. But you can see she has a very particular style to her newsletter. She wanted it to match her website, have the same kind of brand fonts and brand colors. So we were able to incorporate all that because we're designing it from scratch. So we're not using like a MailChimp template or some kind of template on a different program. We are building this completely from scratch in Canva, which allows you to customize it 100% however you want. You can use your own colors, your logos, your fonts, everything like that. I'm going to show you how you can use a bit of a workaround so that you can send this newsletter as a downloadable PDF rather than it being like HTML embedded into the email, which just helps you avoid spam folders, but also have full control over the customization of the newsletter so that Gmail and other email hosting platforms are not blocking your specific font or colors. Because a lot of times when you're using these newsletter platforms, what you'll find is that they only allow certain fonts to be shown in the newsletter. And if you use your own custom fonts, it's just going to automatically change it to one of their preset fonts. And also, if somebody has something like dark mode turned on their computer or on their phone, it's going to completely change the colors that you're putting into your newsletter and just completely change the look of your newsletter. So sending it as a PDF like this one allows you to have complete customization over the newsletter and also do some extra cool things like maybe upload it to your website so that people can always go back and look at older versions of the newsletter. So this is what the newsletter looks like. You have the title here. You have a little quick summary at the top about what the newsletter is going to be about. And then you have your average home prices here: detached home, apartment condo, semi-detached townhome. These prices automatically update. You have a market summary here, which updates based on the month as well. All of this is custom generated by AI, but it is all accurate, which is very important. She wanted a high roller section showing kind of the most expensive homes sold in each category. So we have that. The mortgage rates we have showing what the up-to-date mortgage rates are for that month. These photos are also photos that she specifically chose. So again, it's being completely customized to her brand. We have a homeowner hot tip. So based on the month and the season, the AI is actually going to write a custom tip for the homeowner so that whoever's receiving this newsletter still gets some extra value, even if they're not interested in selling their home that month. Edmonton hotspots. So this is fun things to do in Edmonton this month. This is where the RSS feed comes in handy. We're actually pulling cool things that we can do in our city that month and then adding it here as clickable links that people can click on. So that's really cool. The freebies. So these are downloadable guides that people can go to her website and actually download, like a buyer's guide and seller's guide. And all of these things link out as well to her website. Heartfelt notes. So these are reviews from Google. So we're actually pulling in Google reviews and putting them here. There's also a link where the reader can leave a review. So maybe they're a past client of hers, they want to leave a review. Then a little quote from her and a couple links to, things like her brokerage page and her website and things like that. So it's a really, really nice looking newsletter. It matches her brand completely, uses all the same fonts, colors, all of that stuff, and also just gives a lot of value to the reader as well. Even if they're not interested in selling their home, they still get to see, what the market prices are, what the most expensive home was. They get to see what's up to date in the city and any fun things happening that weekend. So it always gives them a reason to read the newsletter, which is really fun. And all of this is completely 100% generated by AI. She doesn't have to touch a thing. You can add in functionality if you want to just approve the newsletter every month, which she actually has. So it basically just sends it to her. She looks it over and it clicks yes or no. If it's no, it's just going to regenerate it for her and send it back to her. And if it's yes, then it will send out to her entire audience. Now, obviously, the most important question is how does this all work? So let's hop into make.com and we're going to show you what this looks like. Obviously, this is quite an extensive make.com scenario here. If you're not familiar with building inside of make.com, this is probably going to look pretty intimidating to you. If you are familiar, it might still look intimidating to you, but regardless, I'm going to walk you through just a quick overview. We're not going to get in depth into every single module here because that is for my community. So if you want to learn how to build this step by step, you can join the waitlist for my community, or maybe by the time you're watching this video, the community might be live already. But I have an online school community/course that I'm releasing where you can learn how to build all these different cool AI automations and AI agents and things inside of your business. I walk you through everything step by step. So if you want to learn how to build something like this and a whole lot more, we're going to go step by step in depth inside of that community. So click the link in the bio below and you will be able to join the waitlist. Or if it's already live, then you'll be able to join the community. So how does this all work? Well, it starts off with an HTTP module. The reason why we're starting with an HTTP module is because we're actually going to a specific website where live real estate data is always posted. So if I show you here, this is the website. I'm going to go to it and just show you what that looks like. You can see it's a Edmonton housing market report. This is updated every single month. And it's based off of the MLS data that my real estate board releases, so I know that it's always accurate. But you can see that it has, average home prices and market summaries and things like that. If you log in, you can also get a bit more information that way. But you can use something like this. Maybe in your area you don't have this WOA because I'm in Canada. But you can use something like this, or maybe if your MLS board posts it on the website, then you can use that particular URL to pull the information from. So we go to that website and then AI will actually crawl that website to figure out multiple different things. So we have it figuring out what is the average single family price, townhome price, semi-detached price, and condo price, because those are all things that she wanted in the newsletter. So you can see here, detached, apartment, condo, semi-detached, and townhome. So we get all those prices from that page. Then we're going to write a market summary. So basically AI is going to scrape that entire page, all the information that is on it, and it's going to write a market summary report, as well as then do any additional research that it needs to. Then we're also getting AI to write the homeowner tip summary and the tip title. So that is, where is it? This part here. So it writes the title and the whole summary for the homeowner tip. And then we're just saving all of those as variables. Again, I'm not going super in depth onto each of these modules, but if you want to see the kind of prompts that I used in these AI modules to get accurate information, you can see there's a few different prompts for each module. Then just join that community. And I'm going to walk you through step by step how to build each individual module here, how to prompt it, and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, we're saving those as variables. Then we're going to our custom RSS feed. So it's just rss.app, and then we created a custom feed for Edmonton specific events. So then we're pulling the most recent events from that RSS feed, and then we're going to aggregate all of the results from that and split it up into individual ones so that we have all these different branches for creating, the Title 1, Summary 1, Title 2, Summary 2, and number 3. And those are these ones here. So Title 1, Title 2, Title 3, Summary 1, Summary 2, Summary 3, you get the point. Then we just save all those as different variables, and then from there we're going to go to a different web page where we're actually going to scrape the mortgage rates. So like I said, she wanted live mortgage rates on there. So we're going to rates.ca to get those, because these are always up to date. And you can see here, this is where it's generating into. So we're getting those mortgage rates. It works the same way as the home prices. So we're going to the page, and then AI is scraping the 3-year fixed mortgage rate, the 5-year variable, and the 3-year variable. Then we're also doing the same thing again with a different URL in order to get this high roller section. So this is actually a little PDF report that my real estate board releases showing these like high roller numbers. So we're actually going to the URL that releases that report. Then we're finding the download link for that report. We're opening up that report, and then AI is scraping that PDF report in order to get the prices, the high roller prices for each of those. Then again, we're saving them as variables. We're creating a subject line and an introduction for the newsletter itself. So the subject line is just for the email part, and then the introduction is what you see at the very beginning right here. And that just kind of gives a quick introduction about some of the information that's in the newsletter. And then we're actually going to go get the 3 thumbnails that we can use for these hotspot events. So we're going to get these. And this is where everything gets passed on to Canva. So inside of Canva, there's a few different modules. We have upload an image, which you have to do separately. So we're uploading all 3 of these thumbnails. And then the autofill module, which is actually where everything's kind of being built all together. So inside of Canva, we've actually set up like a brand template. So this is where Canva knows where to sub in all this information because we have these parameters that we've actually set up so that we can autofill certain information. So if I open up this data autofill on the left here, you can see these are all different parameters that we have. 3 fixed, 5 fixed, 5 variable. These are for the mortgage rates, condo price, detached price. There's tons of variables here where we're implementing information that we generated with AI. So if we look on here in the autofill module, we have some JSON script that we wrote where we say what the variable is and then what information we're actually subbing in for that. These are the variables that we saved at each different step. So along the way, we're filling in certain information inside of the Canva brand template. And then from there, we're going to generate that newsletter. We have a little sleep module here just because it takes some time for Canva to do that. So it just kind of pauses the scenario and waits for that. And then we're just going to grab it. We're going to export it as a PDF. And then from there, you can either send it via Gmail module or you can put the sender, like right here, I had it attached before, the sender module if you want to send it through sender.net so that you can track the open rates and things like that. And then update, your database if you store it in Airtable or wherever. But yeah, that basically summarizes how this works. So we built this entire scenario from scratch, and it creates, a beautifully branded newsletter that is completely custom every single month. So every month, everything that needs to be updated and changed is changed automatically by AI. So like this month, for example, is going to be changed every single month based off of whatever month it is when the newsletter is being sent. But then in the summary, it needs to talk about last month. So it's going to talk about April, even though we're sending it in May. So the AI knows the context of what it's writing and, if it needs to reference last month versus current month or future tense versus past tense. And yeah, all of this stuff automatically generated based on up-to-date information and automatically sent out, which is key. So basically, if you don't want to have the approval system, you don't need to. And if you don't, you just set this up, turn on the automation, and every single month on the first of the month, it's going to send out a newsletter to your audience automatically. You don't have to touch a single thing. You never have to look at it again. You never have to tweak anything. It just automatically sends a newsletter for you that is perfectly branded to your brand. So it's super cool, super handy. It's something that, when I talk to realtors and I say, are you running a newsletter? 90% of them will say, no, we aren't. We know we probably should, but it's not really that big of a deal. We don't have the time for it, yada, yada, yada. Well, this allows you to run a newsletter and not have to spend any time on it at all. Once it's set up, you're completely done. And it's just another thing that you can add into your marketing toolbox that doesn't require any extra work from you. So super cool. I love it. So hopefully that video was useful. Obviously, we didn't get too much into the technical weeds of how each module is set up and the prompting techniques and the parsing and all that technical stuff. If you do want to learn the step-by-step pieces to building that specific automation, how to set up the prompts and everything else that goes into it, click the first link in the description below. You can join my school community where I teach other real estate agents how to use these tools, how to build these specific automations. We do live follow-along videos for building these different automations and AI agents. I can answer your questions back and forth, and you're also part of the community so you can see what all these other real estate agents are automating in their business, how they're using AI and sort of what's working and the best practices. So click the link to my school community and sign up for the waitlist, or by the time you're watching this video, it might have already been launched, so you can just join right away. If you don't want to learn how to set all this up on your own, but you still want to get this system in your business, you can book a call with me by clicking the link in the description below as well. You can hop on a call with me or somebody from my team, and we can talk about what type of systems can be automated in your business and how we can develop it for you. Maybe you're not a technical person or you just don't have the time to learn all this stuff on your own. That's no problem. We have multiple developer partners that we work with to build out these systems for you. And lastly, if you are the type of real estate agent who knows that they need to be using AI, but you really don't know where to start or what tools to use, there's another link in the description below where you can book in a call for an AI audit. It's basically where we go over your entire business, all your systems, all your processes, and we map out the entire thing for you. And then our team goes in and we figure out where you can be implementing AI, where you can be implementing different automations, what tools you can be using that are just off the shelf versus where you can implement custom tools. And we basically give you the entire roadmap that is tailored specifically to your business, your systems, and your processes. And we even give you the instruction guide on how to set up all these different tools and these automations. It's basically everything you could need and could possibly want to get started with implementing AI into your real estate business. And once again, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more real estate related AI content and learn how to automate your business with AI so that you don't get left behind and you get to future-proof your business by learning how to implement these systems. So thank you again for watching. I really appreciate the support, and we will see you in the next video.